Thank you, Patricia.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you all for joining on. I know we made a last minute change, so thank you all for being flexible. We're going to learn a lot about the basics of pre-qualification today. So it's going to be a good one. This is super, super important as you guys begin this career. How many of you have been less than 1 year doing real estate? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right. So we've met over the time that Johnny and I have been in this career. We've met a lot of top producing agents. We've been blessed to be part of several events where the top 1% in South Florida are all in the same room. And one thing they all have in common is they know the financing process very, very well. Every 99 of your buyers out of 100, 99 are gonna go ahead and want to need financing. They're not, very little are cash buyers. So it's a very complex process, and we want to make it simple for you as a realtor to learn that role and know what you need to ask, how you need to ask it, and how to prepare yourself to be working in the right market. There's nothing worse than to see somebody that's super motivated, that comes in from a 9-to-5, or that's working part-time trying to get out of a 9-to-5, and then you come and you're working in the wrong market, people that don't qualify, and you spend all your time and energy on that. And then, when you see your resources, money for gas, taking these people out, shopping around and all this stuff, and then they don't tend to work out. If you would have listened to how we're going to train you guys to do the beginning process of pre-screening your client, you can avoid having those scenarios be a reality. Okay. And I don't like seeing people come in here 1 year working in the wrong market. You feel like you're working, you're driving around, talking to these people, wanting to help them, but you know that they're not ready. And when you know they're not ready and you keep investing time into them, then you're really not taking advantage of your resources. So we're going to be here every step along the process to help you guys. And we're also going to go ahead and Johnny will explain very detailed. Make sure you guys are taking notes on what are the things that you should be having, what kind of conversations you should be having with your buyers to pre-screen them and to focus on the reality, which is building relationships. If they're not ready right now, that's not a bad thing. That actually is a good thing, because now it gives you time while they're repairing their credit, while they're saving more money, while they're trying to find stability in their job. You know what is going to give you opportunity to build relationship along the way. And guess what? We've seen people, I've heard countless stories from realtors that they say, oh, this person never purchased a house from me. They almost did, but in the process, they referred 3 or 4 people to me because they actually cared. And that's what we want to help you guys understand, okay?
Awesome, guys. So this Wednesday is going to be the third training that we do around the same topic. Today, we wanted to give it a little bit of a spin around and start in a different setup. I want to give you guys the opportunity to introduce yourself. So everybody's going to give us your name, your office, how long have you been in real estate, or since when you got your license. And we want to hear from you guys. What is your expectations when you guys are jumping to a training that is going to talk about pre-qualification? Okay, so we're going to start with Belandi. So you're going to give us your name, your office, when do you got your license, and what are you trying to get out of this training?
I have a hoarseness. That's why I left, because I didn't want to talk. I'm with Joel in West Palm Beach. I have my license for a little over a year, but I was in a 9-to-5. I'm trying to quit now.
Okay,
good.
Yeah.
So what are you trying to get out of a pre-qualification training? What is, if you got to pick one thing that you want to learn today, what would that be?
And not to waste my time.
Good.
I love it.
Awesome.
I love it.
All right, Patricia. We can hear you.
You gotta take your, there you go.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes.
So my name is Patricia Martinez. I'm in the Fort Lauderdale office, and I got my license last year. I'm a full-time nurse, so I just want to have another, well, actually, I just want to change careers. And my expectation is not to waste my time
That's
with
right.
anybody. So yeah, I agree with the other lady.
Awesome,
Thank
Patricia.
you,
We have
guys.
something in common. I worked at Baptist for 4 years in the ER.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
great.
So we come from the same background, and guess what? I was able to do it, and if I can do it, anybody can do it. I promise you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Patricia. Natahi?
Hi guys, good morning. My name is Nasahi. I got my license in March, and pretty much I love it. I haven't done no business yet, but also I belong to the Gables office, which I haven't been able to be there, and it's not there anymore. Now they're on the Oral, which I love that office because we all help each other and we learn a lot. The manager and Marvin, that now that Marvin is there, they actually take the time to explain us how to do the business. I like to work with clients, but you brought a good point that it's good not to waste time because time is precious.
Yep.
And I know from you guys I'm gonna learn because you guys are very knowledgeable and know what you guys saying. And that's what I want to learn today in this meeting because like I said before, I love working with them, but I am wasting my time because as you were saying, I'm doing a lot of things is wrong. So I want to go to the right path and do the right thing. And I appreciate your help this morning. Thank you, guys.
You got it, Natahi. Thank you.
Awesome, Natahi.
My
Thank you so much.
pleasure.
Barbie, thank you for turning on your camera. Unmute yourself and tell us so you can, I know we know Barbie, but so you can introduce yourself to everyone else on the call. And what do you want to get out of this meeting? You're still on mute. Take off the mute.
The little microphone.
Yeah,
There you go.
There you go.
my name is Barbara. Barbara Monteagudo. I'm in West Palm Beach branch. I got my license a few years ago, but I started in this business about 1 year now. And what I want to join, espérate. The reason that I joined is this meeting because I want to know more about rates right now and how do I show in numbers to my clients there is still a good time to buy, you know, how can I convince them? That's why I joined.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Barbie.
Mhm.
And last but not least, Sasha,
Is it Shaya?
Saya,
Shaya, right?
Saya.
Yeah.
Take yourself out of mute.
There you go. There you
Okay.
go.
Okay, I'm good now.
There we can hear you.
My name is Shaya. I obtained my license 6 months ago, more or less. And I do have an accounting administrative support business that I do part-time, and I try to do real estate for the rest of the time, but I have been slacking lately. So right now I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and really get into it. And what I really want from this training is to know how to properly vet potential buyers. What type of questions do I need to ask? Where exactly do I need to go? So I can properly categorize them into, okay, I'm really, really ready to buy. Definitely wasting my time. And also need to check up in 3 months, or I need to check up in 6 months.
Right.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for not only making the time to be here with us today, but also being uncomfortable, right? Daryl and I are very big on making ourselves very uncomfortable. And the reason for that is because there's no growth in comfort, right? I think we all know that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start the training in terms of pre-qualification, right? What is the main goal of this training, guys? The main goal for this training is for you guys to wake up curiosity when you guys are having conversations with people, right? Because there's a big difference between pre-qualification and then pre-approval, right? Pre-qualification is what we're gonna focus on today, which is nothing but you guys having a conversation with people, right? In regards of financing. Pre-approval is when somebody started the process of being pre-approved with a lender, in this case us, meaning that they actually are ready to submit a pre-approval application and provide documentation depending on the loan program that we're going to discuss, right? The most important thing on the pre-qualification process is just the kind of questions and the kind of understanding of the questions that you guys need to ask, incorporating the real estate and the conversations of different people that you come across, right? Those people can be people that you have on your pipeline, people that you have on your sphere of influence, or just people that you have coming across and getting to know them, right? One thing that we always like to make sure that you guys understand is that as a bank, the bank that we work with is PRMG, and as a lender, as a direct lender, we have a lot of loan programs, right? We hear it all the time where like people themselves, they're disqualifying themselves because they think that they're not going to be able to qualify, or just simply because they speak with one person or one individual in the industry or outside of the industry, and now they think that they're not going to qualify, right? So the most important thing before we go into the meat and potatoes about pre-qualification and the type of questions that you guys should incorporate in your real estate conversations is just knowing that you guys have a bank in us that have all three different routes, all different avenues, right? And then the way we split those three avenues is very simple. We have qualified mortgages, right? Qualified mortgages are your FHA, your conventionals, your USDA, your VA loans. Those are your qualified mortgages, right? On those type of mortgages, you're gonna have to verify income, right? They have to verify income. And when we say verify income, it's not just simply a conversation from a pre-qualification point of view, but it's also supporting with documentation, right? Then the second avenue is your non-qualified mortgages, which we do have a lot of programs where we can help buyers without going through the process of verifying income, right? Use the credit and the assets savings, which is another fancy word for savings. Assets means savings for the purchase. To still, you still have to come out with those two. But in regards of the income, your non-qualified mortgages, which is for self-employees and business owners, those individuals can actually qualify for a mortgage without verifying income. And the last avenue is your hard money or your private lending funds, right? That is basically the three avenues that we have as availability for your buyers, right? Having that foundation in place where you have a lender in us that have all three avenues, what does that mean to you guys on the real estate? It's very simple, options, right? The ability to provide options to your buyers, right? Now let's break it down into pieces, right? So if on qualified mortgages, you have to verify income, what are the four main pillars that a lender looks on a buyer to be able to get them pre-approved? Income, credit, consumer liabilities, and assets, which is a fancy word for savings, right? So I hope you guys are taking notes as I'm actually going through the steps, because this is what's going to help you guys to become trusted advisors, right? We're very big on making sure that the realtors that work with us, they give us the opportunity to speak with their buyers, they're actually, making sure that they are coming across as trusted advisors and not just as realtors or real estate agents, right? You want to be a trusted advisor in front of your clients, because remember, your client is never going to be the bank client. Hopefully we earn the right to ask for your business and help your clients, but overall, your client is always going to be your client, and they're trusting you, hoping that you can actually help them in all aspects of buying a property, right? So what we're trying to say is that if your credibility is being trespassed to a lender, right? In this case, us, you guys are our clients, right? So your clients is your client, you real estate agents are our clients, and we want to make sure that we provide options and great service to your buyers. That's how we build that relationship with you guys, right? So on the qualified mortgage side, if you have to verify income, how does that look like for your clients, right? So you have two type of buyers. You can have a W-2 employee with pay stubs, right? And guys, W-2 is not taxes, right? We get a lot of people confused when it comes to W-2s. W-2 is the income form that your employer gives you at the end of the year, so you can take it to your accountant, tax preparer, or CPA, so that way you can present your income taxes for that calendar year. You guys with me? Awesome. So W-2 gets pay stubs, right? Pay stubs. Now, that individual can be paid weekly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, or they can have a yearly salary, right? It all depends how they get this, that your pay structure is going to determine the way we calculate your income as a lender, right? So then you have your W-2 pay stub employee, or you can have a self-contractor 1099 employee, right? That means that they're actually receiving their income on front. They're not taking any deductions. They're not taking Social Security, taxes, federal, state taxes. They're actually receiving all the income on front. And at the end, with that 1099, instead of getting a W-2, because W-2 is for pay stub employees, they receive a 1099 form, or also known as Schedule C. So that way they can take that form to the tax preparer, CPA, or accountant to prepare their income taxes for that calendar year. You guys with me? Awesome. So those are two different individuals. One individual that gets paid W-2 with pay stubs, different way of calculating your income, 1099, or business owner that is incorporated, whether it's LLC, incorporated, S Corp, corporation. That all you have to understand in regards to those four aspects is you are incorporating yourself to become an entity or a business, right? Different way of calculating your income as well, right? What's really important for you guys to know is not any of that, okay? I just gave you guys the background of what does that mean. It's really important to increase your confidence by knowing the reality of how does somebody gets paid, just for you guys to have as a background, just in case somebody asks, that you guys know the right information. There's nothing wrong that being in an industry that people are relying on you to know the information, to be the professional that you say who you are, and somebody asks you a question and then you're trying to give them an answer that is incorrect. Daniel and I are very big on telling people, if you don't know the answer, is nothing wrong with you saying that's a great question. I'm gonna get the right answer back to you, okay? Now, what's really important in regards to income, guys, is just to use our common sense, right? When you're doing pre-qualification, you wanna ask questions that are in a form of a conversation. We're not here to interrogate your clients. So Ariel and I actually do your pre-qualification calls when you guys introduce us to your clients. And all we do is having a conversation. How does that look like when it comes to finding out the income of somebody when you don't want to ask interrogating questions? Can somebody give me an example? If you guys are having a conversation with me, whatever the scenario looks like, whether you know me or you don't know me, how does it look like to ask somebody a question in regards to their income? Any volunteers, or I can volunteer somebody?
Go ahead, Natahi.
Go for it.
Just an example,
Just an example.
if you were to ask without interrogating the client, right? How
The
would
thing
you
is
ask them
that
about
your communication is pretty not good. How do you want to say it? Pretty bad.
Just
You
give it
guys
a try.
breaking out and I can't even,
We're breaking out.
okay. Yes.
Can you hear us?
I think it might be your connection, Nathahi. Check your connection if you're on Wi-Fi, because we can see everybody perfectly fine. And yours is coming in and out a little bit.
Yeah, I think it has to do with my internet.
Okay.
Okay. All
Barbara?
right, so
Yo,
yes, you. Give us an example. How would you talk to a person if you're asking them about their income?
I don't know. At first, I start with in what industry they work and ask about more about their job, like I don't know, but not
Yeah.
directly how much you get paid annual or whatever. I start with where do you work and how is it? Oh, it must be tough. Oh, you a nurse? You working night shift or day shift? Oh my! I have a friend that too, and yeah, and start like that.
Good.
There you go.
Very good.
You see, but you're looking to find common ground, you're building rapport, and you're also trying to get to the bottom line. I'll give you a perfect example. Let me give you guys an example. Let's say, like I was just talking now to Patricia, and she's like, oh no, I'm a full-time nurse. You know, so what do? I find common ground. Awesome. You work for a hospital or are you self-contracted? Do you work in multiple different, do you have different jobs? Are you working with an agency or you work directly for the hospital? Oh, you work directly for the hospital. How long have you been at the hospital? Remember, were you looking for 2 years? Most people will tell you, oh, I've been here 9 years. Right there, you say, wow, congratulations, 9 years. That's a long time you've been working. You must love it there. No, I don't. I'm actually not, you know, but you're building conversation. So now, you know, she's a nurse. She works full time. Some people work per diem. Some people work part time. Is that the only place you work, Patricia? Because I know multiple people that are in your same field that they work for a hospital, but then they do side jobs with other agencies. Are you receiving any other kind of income? You see what I mean? So we identified she's W-2 because she said she works for the hospital. We identified that she works full time. We identified that she's been there for more than 2 years. Right around there, you already know kind of what you need to know, right? From there on, all we are expecting is that it's easier when you, the realtor, reaches out to us and your initial conversation is like, you know, almost everything about him. So then for us, it's almost like very simple to come into your client's introduction call with a little more background. We know a little bit more about them. We get to create the same engagement and it's a warm transfer. So like that, your clients can see, wow, Patricia, Barbara, Fedra, Nathahi, they're a team. They know everything about me already. They're just trying to understand how they can help me. That's the point. That's what your clients should feel. They should feel that this is a team effort. Make sense?
Awesome. Awesome. So the main question that we actually ask in our intro calls is, what do you guys do for a living? That is a very simple question, right? You guys are in the business of, it's like peeling an onion, right? So you don't have to ask a direct question on the very first question when it comes to income, right? You're going to get to that by a combination of questions that is going to help you not only to understand what do they do, but also how long have they've been doing that, right? And then use common ground. When it comes to income, what's really important is that the bank is not just looking to qualify you to get a mortgage, but they're also looking for you to have that income consistent or projected income on the future. So that way we don't put somebody in a position of buying something that they're going to lose immediately, right? So now we identified what do they do for a living, right? How long have you been doing it, right? We do, for qualified mortgages, you do have to provide 2 years of income, right? 2 years of work history, right? There's a lot of myths, and then our goal in this training is to break down those myths, right? There's a lot of people that think that because they're with a job right now, they've been with a job 1.5 years, they think, or they heard, or they were told that if they quit that job and they go to a different direction, different industry, different position, different type of company, that they're not going to longer qualify. That's actually a myth, guy. That's only happened. The reality of that is that it's only for FHA. For an FHA loan, if you're looking to qualify for an FHA loan, they're going to ask you to be in the same realm, in the same industry for 2 years. But we do have a lot of programs that's not a problem. What's really important is to know that this person has work history for at least minimum 2 years for most of the other programs. You guys with me? Good. Now that we know how long they've been in that position, how long have been in that company, what do they do, it's always good for you on the front end to understand more about their occupation, right? How long have they been doing that? And then before that, what did they do before, right? That just create bondage between you and your buyer or your client or your prospect, that they can actually see you as somebody that really cares, right? That is not just there to sell them a house, right? Or sell them a service. Now, in regards of the payment structure, right? That's not something that we're gonna focus on in these trainings, because we can go in many different directions when it comes to payment structure. All we want is to have an understanding of, or an idea of, how much money do they make. So now that I know how long have we been there, I built a little bit of relationship, I know what they do, I know if they like it or they don't like it, I know their background, right? I will ask them more or less, what are you making a year, right? So that way you're not asking the specifics about monthly commissions and none of that. Most people will give you an idea more or less how much they make. That could be off, or it could be right on the money. There's some people that know their stuff. There's some other people that don't really know or don't understand. And guess what? Those people, you want to make sure that you come across as a trusted advisor, because those people would not leave you because you're providing education on front. Okay. Now that's in regards of income, right? What do we actually ask to verify, right? Is there's a variety of things, because it depends on the loan program. What you guys have to know on front is the questions, right? So now that we know more or less how much they make a year, the question is, can we prove it? Can we prove it? Can we show the bank in paper your income, right? Most people, if not all, that are W-2 with pay stubs, they don't have an alternative in that area, right? They actually get paid. They get the deductions every month, and it's a very simple process, right? It's very simple to see how much money they make gross, which means before deductions, and how much money they net, which means that the direct deposit that goes into the bank account. Is very simple. Where do we have to ask a little bit of more questions is when somebody is self-contractor, self-employed, 1099, or they are incorporated, right? When you ask that question, you're going to be able to know if they actually are making money on paper, meaning on their income taxes, or they already know that when they go to the accountant, they're actually not declaring a lot of income because of tax purposes, right? Because remember, these are individuals who don't have any deductions. So at the end of the year, they're supposed to be putting money away to pay taxes. So how many people do you think, by common sense, common ground, how many people do you think that are on the 1099 world or the entity world that own a business are putting money away to pay Uncle Sam? Not many, right? And the reason for that is because most people don't have the education. We don't receive that type of financial education, that most people are self-taught, right? So only asking a little bit about the questions on the front end when it comes to income, right? Once we know a little bit about their income, right? You guys are real estate agents, you're real estate professionals, right? Whether you know this already or not, you guys have a license, right? You guys are putting in the work, you guys are getting training. So on the real estate aspect of things, right? If I'm speaking with an individual where I now know, I know a little bit about their income, and I'm using my common sense, common ground. If I know they make $50,000, $60,000, right? That's the average middle class, low middle class America, $50,000 to $60,000 a year. That actually, if you guys have a calculator, it's good to have a calculator around. 60,000, let's go with $60,000, right? $60,000 a year divided by 12 months in a year, that's $5,000 a month, right? Very simple math, guys. This is not rocket science or nothing special. $5,000 a month. The bank is always gonna lend you over half of your income, guys. Half of your income. Why? Because people have to pay bills. We have insurance, we have food, we have kids, everybody has a different financial picture. But at the end of the day, everybody has to pay bills, right? So the bank is gonna lend you over 50% of your income. So if 50% of your income and we have $5,000 a month, now we have $2,500. $2,500, assuming that this individual has no debt, no consumer debt. Now, how many of us don't have any consumer debt, guys? No credit cards, no auto loans, no mortgages, no personal loans, no business loans, right? Statistically wise, most people have consumer debt, at least credit cards, right? But let's just assume that this individual has zero debt, has everything paid off, use credit cards by pay them in full every month. You have $2,500 a month. That, give it a take, is going to be around $250,000 loan, right? $250,000 purchase price. How much options do we have for this buyer, having in mind that they can qualify for a $250,000 purchase price? Can we find a lot of options? Very little options, especially for us that are in the Tri-County, Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. Palm Beach is out of the question. Palm Beach, the average sales in Palm Beach right now, I think it's $500,000. For Miami-Dade and Broward, it's close to $400,000, right? So a good question to ask is, if it's needed, are you gonna finance yourself? Or if it's needed, or if it helps you, do you have somebody else in help you qualify for the type of home that you're looking for, right? Great question to ask. Why is that important? Because the more income you have on an application, the more you can qualify for it. And just so you guys know, you can have up to 4 individuals in a loan application, right? And they don't have to be related. They don't have to be family members. It could be friends or people or business partners or acquaintances, right? Yes, Pedro. 4 people. You can have up to 4 people in a loan application. Yes, right? The only loan program that requires you to be related to that individual on that application is FHA. That is the only loan program that you have to be a family member, or you have to prove that is a loan relationship, right? And then it has to be documented. It has to make sense, right? Again, just waking up curiosity for you guys to know that there's options, right? Because immediately what Dariel and I know is that most people, they think that there's no options, and then most people are disqualifying themselves because there's so much noise out there. The interest rates, the economy. And in reality of things is that you look around and, transactions are being closed, homes are being sold, homes are being bought. So we like to focus on being solution providers. Now, when we say waste time, guys, we're not talking about not working with people. It's understanding where are this individual how are we gonna funnel them? How are we gonna peel the onion to know if this individual is gonna be ready within 30 to 60 days? Because in real estate, there's a 60-day cycle. From the moment that you meet somebody to the moment that you help them to buy a home, statistically wise, is 60 days. So when we say waste time, it's for you guys to be more efficient with your time and knowing if that individual is going to be ready within 60 days, or if that individual needs nurture time to be able to know if that individual is going to be ready in the next 3 months, 6 months, or a year, right? But in that process, it's for you guys to know that it is our job as a team to nurture that relationship with that client. So that way, in the meantime, they know that they can trust you as a trusted advisor, and they can rely not only their business to you, but they can refer you clients to you, right? They can refer all their families and friends to you because you're providing the education up front. Does that make sense? Awesome. Now that we have a little bit of understanding about income and the type of questions that we ask relevant to their income or the occupation, then we move to the next topic, which is credit. And then we like to combine credit with liabilities because they go hand in hand. Normally, the credit score that you have is a reflection of how good you manage debt, how good you manage your credit liabilities, right? When you don't have a good manage of debt, when you don't manage your debt correctly, then it's a reflection of having a lower score, right? What we like to focus on is on alternatives and solutions. When somebody needs credit repair, we have a great relationship with somebody that has been in the industry long enough to understand what does your borrowers or what does your clients need when it comes to credit repair, right? Just for you guys to know, the minimum credit scores for FHA is 580. The minimum for conventional is 620. All right, that's talking about qualified mortgages. And when we talk about non-qualified mortgages, which is your bank statement loans, your DSCR loans, your CPA letter loans, programs that do not require to verify your income, the higher the better. We like to think that 700 and above is where the sweet spot for those programs, but the minimum credit score is 630, right? Now, one thing that is very important for you guys to understand from common ground, right? Yes, Vedra?
Question: what happened with the people that doesn't have any credit score because they are moving here, and so obviously when you are new in this country, you don't have anything. You don't have credit score history. You don't have a past. So what happened with this kind of people?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So that's a great question, guys. We like to answer that question with facts. We don't give you our opinion, right? So you say something very interesting on your question. What happened with somebody that don't have credit history? Guys, use common sense. We're talking about applying for a mortgage, right? The lowest mortgage that we can think of right now, let's talk about what the lowest mortgage, right? Let's talk about a condo. Putting 25% down of a $200,000 condo. We're talking about a $150,000 mortgage. You lending $150,000. Use common sense. If you were a bank and you're looking at somebody that has no experience managing credit, right? Would you lend money to that individual?
Right. And now to jump in there, then what? So that should be the answer to the most amount of cases. Now, what if we get a case of, because she did mention that most people coming in here, immigrants, right? That you're already older. We're not talking about a 19-year-old that has a Macy's credit card and they don't have the history. We're talking about a family that comes in here, immigrants from another country, and they don't have the history. They have, let's say they have the income and money saved, the assets, but they don't have the credit. So 9 out of 10 times, Fedra, they're going to be foreign nationals. That means that the very first question you need to ask when it comes to immigrants, again, you build rapport with your client. If you know that they're immigrants, your first question should be, how's your residency status? Are you a resident or a citizen? 9 out of 10 times, they're going to tell you, no, I don't have either or. At that point, then you engage Johnny and I, because then it gets a little more complicated. There's so many different kind of visa types. There's so many different kind of foreign national programs, and we would kind of ask for you. But from the very beginning, it won't be so much about the credit. It'll be more about their residency status in your case. Does that answer your question?
Good. Now, in regards of solutions, right? Because we like to think about providing solutions to people, right? If somebody doesn't have the credit history, right? And is going to apply for a program that requires credit, we have alternatives for them to actually start building that credit history that they need, right? We have a great source when it comes to credit services where we can actually partner up your clients with them and provide them a solution, right? And that client is gonna be forever thankful to you guys because you guys are providing solutions, right? But if it's somebody that is just lacking on credit history, they have the income, they have the money, right? We do have programs that as long as they have some kind of sort of a visa, we can put them on a foreign national loan where there's no credit requirements, right? Another good alternative is hard money lending. Hard money lending, we have programs where there's no credit requirements, right? But it have to make sense, right? Whatever the client needs is what we're gonna accustom to be able to provide them a solution based on the specific scenario. But if the question is, what do we do with somebody that has the income, has the assets, right? And they don't have the credit history, we do a buyer's consultation. That's what we do. And we analyze in depth what is the scenario so that way we can provide a solution, right? Because what most banks do in that question, Fedra, is if somebody doesn't have the credit, they disqualify them and they don't talk to that individual. That's not who we are. We like to address people as human beings. Dariel and I treat your clients as they are our family, right? We wouldn't do a loan for a family member unless we know for sure that is good on the long term, on the short term and on the long term, okay? There's alternatives for that, but we have to look more in depth into that situation, into that scenario, okay? Now that we know the minimum credit scores, it's just for you guys to have an idea, right? Talking about not wasting our time. I don't like the word wasting our times because what Dariel and I find out in this industry is that the more time you waste on people, the more money you make.
Right.
That is just the reality of things. It's just how you look at those things. It's about being more efficient with your time. If you know that somebody has credit concerns or credit obstacles, now we know that that's the number one thing that we got to address. And then we keep moving along with the other aspect of things.
It's all an investment of your time. It's always an investment of your time with people. Every single person that you're speaking to about real estate is a lead. They're talking to you about real estate. They could be talking to another 100,000 realtors in the Tri-County area, but no, they're talking to you. So you need to be smart. I'm going to invest my time, but how much of my investment? Am I going to be investing a lot of time with someone that doesn't have income, credit, or assets, and they maybe will be ready in a year? Or will I be investing? I still invest time into that person because you got to build a pipeline. The realtors that stay consistent for a year, all it takes is a year of you talking to people. Now you're talking to so many people that now some are ready today and you're making money, and some are ready 3-4 months from now. And then what if you have a rough month, but then you've been cultivating that lead for 5 months and now they close? So it's all about maintaining those relationships. So Johnny spoke about income. He spoke about credit. The final one is the most important one, guys. You can fix income. We can play around with it a lot. We have a lot of programs. Credit, we can fix it pretty rapidly. We can figure ways out, but assets is important. You got to have savings. Money doesn't grow in a tree. And if you find one, let us know. But the most important part is that if they don't have money put away, they're going to have to figure it out. What are some solutions, right? Let's say you speak to an individual. I keep going back to the hospital example because it makes sense. A lot of employees that work for big companies, they tend to have a 401k. Maybe you only have $8,000 put away. You came across some kind of scenario, life-changing event, that life happens. It's hard to save money. We all can agree. But you do need to have roughly a percentage of about 10% on average. That's the rule of thumb. About 5% down payment for conventional and about, maybe another 5% towards closing. Not that it's going to cost 5%. It's just a rule of thumb. If you have $100,000, you need about $5,000, $10,000 put away, and vice versa. 200,000, you need about 20. Why? Because you want to be at the closing table confidently. So maybe you don't have the money put away. Check if they have a 401k. Did you? Maybe not in this job, but in the past job. You know how many of us have left the job and then there's a 401k left behind? There could be money there. Family members. Do you have a family member that can gift it to you? There's ways of doing that. We have to probe and understand that the money you have, if you don't have money put away, you could have income and credit, and then it's going to be a very difficult, challenging time to get you pre-approved, because then you come to the closing table and you don't have the money, you just put yourself in a situation you don't want to be in. So with that, I'm going to paint, because we're running short on time, I'm going to paint to you the picture how it all looks. You guys have a very basic conversation about 3 things, really 4: income, credit, and assets. If they're immigrants, immigration status. Once you have that basic conversation, you engage us. Hey, Johnny, Dariel, make sure all of you have our Vice City lending phone number. Okay, if you don't have it, text one of us, we'll share it with you. The reason why we use our Vice City lending phone number is because that's where our follow-up boss are. This is right here, our Bible, okay, our CRM. So if you guys create a group chat with your client and with our Vice City lending phone number, if Johnny's not available, I can answer. If I'm in a meeting, Johnny can answer. You see what I mean? And what you're doing is just making an introduction. Hey, Maria, I have my lending team here, Johnny and Dariel. They'll be more than happy to answer any questions and schedule time to speak. We then go ahead and say, thank you so much for your introduction, Patricia, Fedra, Barbie, whoever it is. Thank you so much for the introduction. When can we speak? Once we speak to them, okay, then we go ahead and begin the more in detail process. We send them 2 emails. They basically apply and send us documentation. The moment we get documents and we get their full application, Johnny and I, we get to work, and we're going to try to get you the fastest pre-approval, a real pre-approval, the ones that actually can go to underwriting and close, not just we check your pulse, we check your credit, go out shopping. We don't want you wasting your time. We want you to feel confident that when you're shopping, that you have a real qualified buyer. Now you guys have the pre-approval, you begin the shopping process. After you find the house with your client, then you send us back the contract, we send them to underwriting, and we go to the closing table. It's that simple. Okay, so now the last couple minutes that we have left, I want to leave it open for Q&A. If you guys have any questions, or Johnny, if you wanted to add something.
No, that's perfect. Let's open up the floor for you guys. We spent a little bit of time. I'm sorry that we have a little bit of inconvenience on the front end connecting, guys.
Hi, it's me, Nati, again. I just wanted to say something. Like you were saying, not wasting time. Actually, for me, it's not a wasting time, because I'm in the process of learning. And once you communicate with your clients and see what you're doing wrong, it builds more for you to know how to actually directly contact with your clients, or what they need. What did I do wrong? What can I improve? So don't take it as you losing or wasting your time. Actually, it's a process of you to learn how to do the right thing. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you guys again. I really like you guys. You explained so good. Thank you.
Absolutely, it's our pleasure. And again, guys, we're a resource to you. You have our cell phone numbers. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Just reach out and get clarity. We're here to help you and assist you along the way. This is not an easy journey, but it's simple. You just gotta, the hard part about it is committing to it and getting it done, and asking questions, getting uncomfortable, speaking to people. When people call you and you're busy, like saying, I'm not really busy, and answering the phone, those little things is what's gonna set you apart. But use us, we're here, available all the time. A lot of lenders right now, okay, at this time of the year, they're on vacation. And look at where we are. I live in West Palm Beach. My West Palm crew, Fedra, we got Barbie on here, and also Valendi from West Palm. Okay, I'm from West Palm. I'm here in the Miami Lakes office. We're committed to helping you guys. Okay, so don't hesitate to reach out to us if you guys have any questions.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Barbie. Barbie, size large. Que te veo shopping.
Pedra, you had a question?
Yes and no. I contact with a lady that she is looking a property, not more than 100, not 55 plus, and she's looking for invest. So I find something, but she's looking in a certain area that that for that price is kind of hard to afford, and she's looking to invest. So she wants to pay cash and do not have any extra debt. So she refused to talk with a lender, you know. But how can I try to push a little bit more?
Right. So when it comes to
because at the time I cannot find anything. Honestly, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. That the area that she's looking for, the HOA is too expensive. The price of the property is cheap, and is ready to rent. You know, like that is one she wants. So how can I combine that? So the amount of money is not enough. You need to ask for more money to a lender, but she doesn't want it. So.
So look, Fera, one thing that Daniel and I are very big is the words pushing and convincing in this business are gonna fade you away from the true potential clients that you will have on your career, right? So if you were in that position, right? Let's just say that you're in that position, you're that client. I'm not a real estate agent, okay? But if you're in that position as a real estate agent, what I will do is providing the information by showing you in numbers, right? Showing you what's out there in the market. This is what you want in numbers with papers, right? Making an appointment face-to-face with the individual where I can show you, not speaking to you and just talking to you like most people do. Most agents, what they do is that they end up convincing. Right. They get caught up on the convincing situation with their clients. Don't do that. Make an appointment with your client, right? If they don't want to speak with a lender, you got to show them why first they should be speaking with a lender, right? But you have to provide the education, the value in front, and just be an advocate for your clients. Once you do that homework of showing them in paper, here's what we have on the market. This is what you want. This is what we have. Let me show you another option. And then you show them the options of what they can actually do in paper when you're painting the picture of why other people are leveraging on the bank's money to be able to accomplish the same goal they have. You ask them a question, right? So we work with you on a one-on-one basis of how would you approach that, okay? That's a great question. Great scenario.
Thank you.
All right. Let's make an appointment, Pedro, so we can work on a one-on-one, okay?
Okay, with this lady?
Yeah, no, we'll meet on a one-on-one basis so we can work with you, okay?
Okay, yes,
awesome.
she put me just on hold, you know, like that. She said, okay, send me everything that you find and we are going to talk about it again. And I sent all the properties that we have and I gave the explanations, but she's at the beginning is like, no, but okay.
In this business, guess what? Once you show the value, you show the education in paper. I'm not telling you that it's going to be giving you the results that you're looking for, which is earning their business, right? But I guarantee you one thing. If you do that, Fedra, once you show them the value, bring the education, you have a meeting and you show them that you really care and you want to help them, maybe she's not going to do business with you, but she's going to remember you for you giving the right information, because guess what's good she's going to find? She's going to find a bunch of agents which is going to try to convince her to do something that she doesn't want to do. And then maybe that person is going to do business with you because you didn't lie to them, you treat them with professionalism, but more importantly, you educated them. Because if they will know how to do it, they wouldn't need you as a real estate agent. Think about that, right? You got to give them a reason why they need you and why you're the best resource for them to accomplish their goal. But that's not going to happen by talking to them. Because then what you're doing is just convincing people, and we're not in the convincing world. So we work on a one-on-one with you to make sure that you are prepared to meet with them on a face-to-face, and then you show them their options. This is what you want. These are your options. Okay? That's how it works.
Okay, great. And she is 55 plus. She's a senior.
We'll talk about that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
We'll meet on a one-on-one. Anybody else has questions, guys? You guys good? Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for making the time. I apologize for the short notice change. As always, we're always open to have one-on-one with you guys. This is not the only place that we actually are devoted to you. You guys have our Calendly. Let me see if I can put it here in the chat. One second, guys. About to wrap it up. All right, so I put the link on the chat, guys. That's our Calendly. We're happy to do one-on-one with you guys, so that way we can give you a little bit of more time on an individual basis. We'll be back next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, what we're going to do is that we're gonna prepare a document with some basic questions for you guys to have it in writing, because I'm very big on practicing. Practicing is what makes you better, right? And maybe on January, what we'll do once I give you that in writing, we'll practice on a one-on-one basis or on this setup on trainings. Okay, guys? Guys, want to thank you so much again on behalf of our team. Thank you so much for allowing us to spend some time with you guys. I know holidays are around the corner. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Be safe, guys, and I'll see you in the next one, okay?
Thank you. Gracias.
Gracias. Bye, guys.
Feliz Navidad.
Bye, Johnny. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.